Okay, so welcome to this new experiment that I'm gonna do and that I want to share with you people in hopes that it's going to motivate you to do the same, probably, or something similar. So basically, this is about me being a noob Zerg player that has the goal to reach specific rank. It actually doesn't matter which rank in particular, but for me, it's gonna be the A rank. Probably the B rank first, obviously, going to be a big goal and then A rank. And doing it the most efficient way possible, but also with a certain devotion towards improving. So you can see my screen here. You can see some random account that I have. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to use this one because it already has a couple of games in. I used those games to warm up after I was gone for like a year. And I'm going to play ladder on this one and try to get this account to A rank. I'm gonna try to get this account to obviously to all the ranks that are above this one, and each rank is gonna be a step and also a success. And obviously you cannot do this by only just grinding ladder. Like you cannot improve only by playing, or even if you can, it's gonna take a long time. I am going to incorporate a couple of strategies to improve and also to how do I say this, to raise the speed of my improvement. I'm going to stream all of this and put it also on YouTube. I'm going to play games on ladder. I'm going to try to do a couple of hours, like 2 or 3 hours every day, or at least every couple of days, and I'm going to try to stream most of it. And I'm going to try to analyze all my replays, and I'm going to try to get help from other people who know better than me. Try to incorporate that into the stream and into the YouTube format. I'm going to try to be very methodical, and I'm going to try to be very rational. This game can be emotional and you can tilt, and I'm going to tilt, of course, but still, it's going to be about trying like your best at doing this and trying to be sound in your approach. Okay, so for this also we need like a plan. Like I could just queue up and play a couple of games, and that will be totally fine, and I'm gonna. But we also need a plan on how to approach this. You know, like we are Zerg, we are about 1,300 or 1,400 probably MMR, and we don't know a lot of things, right? So there's a couple of things that we are going to focus on. Let me actually switch to this notepad here. Create a list that's going to be basically live and just off the top of my head. But let's think about it. One of the first things that I'm going to focus on, and I'm not saying that this list is like subjectively the priority everybody should do, but it's going to be the one I'm choosing. And it's going to be subject to change, of course, but still, this is the one I'm going to do now. So number one would be build orders, right? You can't really play the game if you don't know what you're doing. Especially with Zerg, the economy is just so fucking important that, like, no way. Like, of course, you can do it with feeling and, I don't know, try to just get like a sense for the game. But if you're a noob, you have no idea. You would just have too little drones or too many drones. So build auras. Second one, obviously, would be macro, especially for the initial games. And I guess macro and build orders are kind of the same thing, but still, especially for the initial ranks, not games, you will get the most effect and the best results with having a good macro. If I'm macro better than my opponent, 9% of the time, even if everything else is worse, I'm gonna win, especially at these low ranks, right? So it's gonna be macro, and we're gonna be like, I don't know, gonna use like specific macro training maps also to practice, you know, like, let's see, multitask, which is good to incorporate my build orders and learn them better. Also, macro maps, like the ones where you need to get like 200 supply, or mine out the map as quickly as possible. Number three, I would say, and like those first 2 points, super easy for me to judge, but the others are like very subjective. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna pick that, right? It's gonna be army movement, which is a lot of things. It's like spellcasters and using your muter groups or your muter group and your hydro groups, stuff like that, just being efficient at it. Number 4 will be micro. Not very important in my opinion. Obviously it's very important, but not very important at the beginning. I think you could do it largely without huge micro. It's gonna become more important as I'm rising in the ranks. Not sure if that's gonna happen, but still. And well, I would say multitasking is also a point, but it's kind of like part of all of them, right? So yeah, so this is gonna be the priorities. The priority I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use games and time to learn build orders, probably learn them, know what to do. Then I'm gonna use macro as practice. I mean macro practice to improve, which is probably gonna be the thing I'm gonna do the most, because personally I just enjoy playing macro and having a good economy. And then the other things will come once the first 2 points really stick, right? And let's add this one because I just realized it. It's about game knowledge. It's a very tricky term, but what I mean about that, has to be 1.1. What I mean by that is knowing which build order to choose, or which build, like which branch to take, like, understanding that you need defilers against late game or even middle game Terran, understanding that you need 4 bases, stuff like that. It's like a mix of all those things, like of multitasking, macro, build orders, even a little bit of army movement, but it's a little bit subjective, right? It's a little bit hard to grasp what we mean by that. And this is something that comes from experience, of course. But you can also ask people, what do I do if my opponent has like 4 Valkyries or something like that? So game knowledge. This is more like an off-stream and off-screen approach, but we'll see. We'll see if this isn't something that we can also add here, And yeah, I think that's it. That's it for this introduction. And I'm gonna see you guys in my stream and also in the following YouTube videos that will be part of the stream. Might be that I'm taking like singular lessons and turning them into a YouTube video so that other people can learn from it. But this is mostly like a diary for me. If I upload this and show it to people and people watch it, or at least know that it exists, it's gonna help me check myself as well. Right? Okay, so see you soon.